Welcome back to Unpopular Opinion. I'm your host, Grant Jefe. As promised, we got Michel Buchheister on the other line for our weekly Friday Fire playoff picks. How you doing, Mike?
Man, I'm doing amazing. My Chiefs and Cowboys and Cats all play Saturday. It's a 2 crockpot queso type of day. I'm just excited about it, man.
You in for a bunch of losses then?
Oh man, already
Shots
getting deep
fired already.
I see OG. Hey, the one time I picked the Bears, they lose. Man, come on.
You're gonna come back and be like that. That's all right.
Hey,
Exactly.
I can't say much. All right.
Mike can go there. All right, guys. So let's just start it out. I'm going to start you off with an easy one, Mike. As a Chiefs fan, man, what would a win mean?
As a Chiefs fan, a win would mean the world to us because we have not won a home playoff game since 1995. At that time, Joe Montana was our quarterback. We have not won a home playoff game since that point in time. We had an opportunity against the Colts a couple years ago. We were up 28 points. Colts came back and beat us by like a point. Last year, we were leading the Titans. I believe it was at one point it was 12 or 14 points. They came back and lost it we lost by 2. So a win at Arrowhead Stadium would be almost as big as a Super Bowl win for that city and the fan base that we've been suffering since the 60s. So
what would be what would be the
world.
keys though to winning this game for your Kansas City Chiefs against this Colts defense?
The biggest key, I think, is to jump on them early. We need to keep that Colts offense not doing what they're used to like doing. So like if the Chiefs jump out to a quick 14, 21 point lead, that will force Andrew Luck to force the ball down the field. It will give our pass rushers a chance to pin back their ears, and that's the strength of our team is when we're able to pin back our ears and rush the quarterback, and the quarterback doesn't have 5 or 6 seconds to throw the ball.
Yeah, those two ends that y'all got, now that you guys got Justin Houston back and D4, the guy from out of Auburn, that's definitely the strength. If y'all can get those guys not having to worry about runs, I think that'll definitely help you guys going forward. Now, you picked the Cowboys last week. I said you were crazy. You picked the Cowboys again this week. I said you were crazy. What is it about these Cowboys that you like about them? What is it about them?
Man, I think the reason why I like them so much is because there's so much hate toward that team. So like it is like when the Cubs, they won the World Series. Like people are saying, oh, they haven't won since the 1800s or however long it was for the Cubs to like win. And like I caught myself secretly rooting for the Cubs because I wanted them to just win. And people are saying, well, like the Cowboys haven't won since what, 97 was the last Super Bowl, 98, if I'm not mistaken.
They've only have three playoff wins since 96. So right. I think it was 95 their last time.
Yeah. So and that front seven of the defense, probably the best front seven of all of football. You give them a couple lockdown corners, and this is a very elite defense moving forward, and it gives the offense more room to grow and expand and challenge the ball and push the ball downfield. So this is why I like the Cowboys so much, is because of the potential that they are bringing for this year and years beyond. And I think they just match up well against the rest of the teams in the AFC or in the NFC. Like they've already proven that they've beaten the Saints, they've beaten the Eagles, and I think they can go into LA Coliseum and beat the Rams because they've been there, done that type of thing.
Those are some big hopes and wishes, Mike.
You
Big
hear
hopes
him,
and
huh?
wishes. I hear him, but I'm just not seeing it. I'm not seeing it. And so for this game, Dakota, he's gonna have to go out and play his heart out because you can't just rely on Zeke to run this ball.
I don't.
Dakota.
I don't.
That's a stout front, the Rams have.
That is a stout front, but I don't think the Cowboys' game plan is going to really involve Zeke. Yes, the Rams will try to take out Zeke, and I think the Cowboys, they know this, so they're going to dink the ball. They're going to run a lot of slants, a lot of screen passes on the outside to be an extension of the game on the ground, and they're looking to air it up over the top 2, 3, 4 times to Amari Cooper once those safeties start to suck in. So it's like I feel things are really looking favorable for the Cowboys because they've done it against the Seahawks. They've done it 9 games in a row or 8 games in a row. So very, very positive vibes over there.
Yeah, I'm just a Cowboy hater, so
You are. It's all good, man, because no matter you can say Dallas Cowboys and any title of any show that like you do, and you'll get millions upon millions of people saying, I wonder what they're saying about the Cowboys. And you can be the most neutral Cowboys person ever, but you will always be classified as a hater or a lover. There is no middle ground of a Cowboys fan.
Definitely. There's definitely no middle ground. You got one, bro?
Yeah.
Or is it on me?
That's on you.
All right. So it's been documented, Mike. We all know Phillip Rivers' playoff struggles against Tom Brady in the playoffs. Hasn't won, I think, he's 0-7 against Tom in the playoffs.
No. He is 0-4 against Tom in playoffs. It's 0-7
in the playoffs.
of
0-7, yeah, all time. Why is it? Why you think it's like the Tom Brady boogie monster when it comes to Phillip Rivers? Why do you think that is?
It is like I feel it is like when a Division I football team is playing a Division II football team. You just you are better than them. You go in there with a certain type of swagger, and just a confidence and swagger in the NFL. That's probably 70% of your wins can come just from those two things. And Tom Brady and the Patriots have had that swagger for 12, 13, 14 years now. But
and it's not. Yeah, but it's not even like the Chargers have had bad teams. When you look at all these the teams that they've had, they've had LT. They had guys like Sean Marion. Those has been really those old Charger teams was really, really good. And Phillip Rivers is probably going to be a Hall of Famer, I think, regardless of whether he win a Super Bowl or not. Maybe that's up to debate whether or not when he gets in, whether he a first ballot, second ballot. You know how I feel about that.
Yeah.
But I just don't get it. Like, is it that scary playing Bill Belichick in the New England Patriots?
I mean, it is. Like, I feel that it is because they've won 8 straight divisional playoff games at home. I mean, so it's just over the last 14 years, it is something about going into Foxborough in January when you're playing Tom Brady, and the New England Patriots and Bill Belichick. It just they have some type of curse on the AFC, but I definitely think that curse gets broken this Sunday. But that's we'll see that Sunday afternoon, I guess.
So you're picking the Chargers to win, right, Mike?
Yes, I am picking Phillip Rivers to go into Foxborough at that 1:00 kickoff game. He becomes 4-0 now when he travels to the East Coast at that 1:00 kickoff time in the playoffs. And I think he goes in there and Phillip Rivers, the San Diego Chargers push the Patriots over the ledge. This is the beginning of the end for the Patriots.
So what would be the keys for the Chargers winning this game? What would they have to do, you believe?
I really just think the Chargers just have to come out and play how they've been playing the last, pretty much all season minus the first couple weeks of the season. They just don't got to make. They don't need to turn the ball over and give Tom Brady the position to kind of put the nail in the coffin, like if that makes sense.
Yeah.
You need to make Tom Brady beat you. You don't want to let Tom Brady beat you, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that's totally understandable because you got to make them beat you because you give Tom Brady field position in that offense, field position.
Yep.
They'll tear you up out there. They'll go off and it's too easy for a Tom Brady. He can almost lollipop that thing with his eyes closed to any receiver out there because they have that kind of chemistry, especially with Gronk, Edelman. So I do believe you got to make him beat you and not let him beat you. So
yeah. So Mike, me and OG earlier was talking about the Antonio Brown situation. So I want to ask you about it before we get up out of here. Art Rooney came out yesterday and said that when asked about whether or not Antonio Brown would be on the team, and his words was, and quote, "It's hard to envision Brown being on the team on the team for camp next season." He also asked about whether he would be released. He said he wouldn't be released, but all other options are on the table. What you think about that? Do you think this is a bluff? Do you think that he was trying to see what's out there, what he could get for Antonio Brown? Or do you think that he really means what he say, that Antonio Brown will have a new team come camp next season, next July?
I think this is all just lip service at the end of the day. The Steelers cannot afford to lose Le'Veon Bell and Antonio Brown back to back. The only way I see Antonio Brown leaving the Pittsburgh Steelers is if they get a first and a second round pick offer for him, and I don't see any team willing to really put out that much to get an aging Antonio Brown. I really think that Antonio Brown will be on the Pittsburgh Steelers next season, but their coach will be gone. As soon as the Super Bowl is over, they are going to try to go after, I don't know, let's say the Kansas City Chiefs offensive coordinator, or maybe even the Houston Texans coach if they decide to let him go. I don't think that Mike Tomlin will be Pittsburgh Steelers coach. This is all just lip service. This is all saying Antonio. I think he is trying to let Antonio know that he is what's the word I'm looking for?
Tradable.
He's replaceable.
He is trying to get him motivated to come back and perform next season. So I think this is all just lip service. We know that Antonio Brown is the face of the Pittsburgh Steelers right now. Maybe not 2 years down the road, but right now it is Antonio Brown and like everybody else.
Oh, do you want to hop on that before I?
So Antonio Brown, like I said, he's an impactful player. Like the Steelers organization need him if they're even looking at playoffs next year. I don't see them making it with Juju and Connor at all. I just don't see it. Juju's a great player, but once your first best receiver is gone, you don't think they're gonna double team your second best receiver, and then who you got after that? So Juju, if I was him, I would advocate for Antonio Brown staying. I would talk to Antonio Brown, man, you got to come back if we're trying to do something special here. But if not, Antonio Brown, he could wind up in a place you don't want to be, and that could be on the couch. If he decides not to come out and play for the money.
I don't see him sitting on the couch anywhere. If the Steelers decide not to,
release him,
say they do cut him, he will land on a team the next day, if not in that very hour.
Because they said they wouldn't release him. That's why I said he'll probably just opt out a year or something.
I think what happened. Now, this is what I think. I think Antonio Brown will not be at Pittsburgh till next year. I think that is true what Arun is saying. I do not think it's lip service. If we look back at it, Big Ben and Antonio Brown, not just this season, but over the past few seasons, have not really seen eye to eye. also, we know Art Rooney or the Rooney brothers and Antonio Brown kind of have a little bad blood. We just 2 years ago, 2 off seasons ago, Antonio Brown was threatened to sit out, to hold out of camp.
But he got his money.
But he got it a little bit of money. It was basically hush money because he still didn't get the money that he deserved. They just moved some money around for him and gave him more up front to make it look kind of sexy. And then we know that Antonio Brown really kind of don't like Mike Tomlin because he feels Mike Tomlin babies Big Ben and always takes the side of Big Ben. So I think they're going to get rid of him. It's just going to have to be for the right price. And somebody that needs a receiver that has one of these young quarterbacks, New York, Arizona, Buffalo, will try to go Cleveland. They will try to overpay for a guy like Antonio Brown to help their young quarterback out.
I don't see New York overpaying for him, but all the other teams, yes. Because New York, they're not going to overpay for Antonio Brown. They got Odell up there. So,
No.
Yeah.
Not the Giants, the Jets.
Oh,
they have
yeah,
Sam
the
Darnold.
Jets, yeah.
Sam
true.
Darnold needs a big
That
play
is true.
receiver and, somebody that can help him along the way. They do have a new coach out there in Adam Gase. That's why they got him there to make this
That is
offense
very true.
innovative. So, these teams with these young coaches and these young quarterbacks, be on the lookout.
So, in about 2 years, if Juju decides to leave, we know it's still an organization. There's got to be the organization, right?
I mean, this is Mike Wallace, Emmanuel Sanders, Martavis Bryant, Le'Veon Bell, Antonio Brown. It got to be on them.
Mr. Gran Jefe, you've been wrong before. You're going to be wrong again. Antonio Brown is going to be in Pittsburgh. I bet you they let Big Ben go before they let Antonio go.
The only way that Antonio Brown stays on that roster is if they don't get a good enough trade offer for him.
Which I don't think they will because they want a first and probably a second or an early third round pick.
But wouldn't that affect Antonio Brown's psyche though? Wouldn't he? If I was him, I would feel so disrespected that they're using him as a trade pawn. And
he'll probably love to go.
But they're using him as a trade pawn at the end of the day, and he's still, if he's still on that roster before training camp,
or that could be the exact opposite. That could raise his ego so much, be like, hey, the Steelers want me here because they wouldn't let me go for a second round pick or a first round pick,
right?
So he could have a great season, or that ego could get the best of him saying, I'm here for the long term, and then but either way, I think he is on Pittsburgh Steelers next season. I anticipate Big Ben getting moved before he does.
Yeah, I don't think Big Ben will get moved because I think Big Ben is already up there in age. I think they'll just let Big Ben. They'll kind of force Big Ben's hands to retire rather than letting Big Ben go. Normally,
they are restructuring his contract too.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. Normally, quarterbacks of Big Ben's stature, they don't just release those type guys. Peyton Manning was a different thing because they didn't know whether or not that neck injury was going to be career ending, so they just went ahead and cut ties with him. But a guy like Big Ben, who just had 5,000 yards, by the way, for the first time in his career, I don't see that happening. I think Big Ben gets to retire a Pittsburgh Steeler. Wide receivers come a dime a dozen. People are seeing what Tom Brady is doing up into his 40s. Drew Brees is 40 years old. Big Ben is only 38. You can still get 2 or 3 good years out of him. Peyton Manning won a Super Bowl when he was 39, 40.
I don't know because from what I've heard, I heard Lifetime is making a special on Big Ben called Surviving Big Ben, and it's going to be about all his receivers trying to stay up there. I just think Big Ben retires a Steeler, and they showed to get rid of receivers in their prime, younger than what Antonio Brown is. I don't see how Antonio Brown survives this as long as they can get a good enough offer.
I just don't think that the Steelers organization would be able to survive and even be irrelevant if they lost Bell and Antonio Brown.
Yeah,
They're
that's what I'm
survived.
saying.
They're survived.
They would have to
haven't-
survive.
Well, like they'll
They
still
missed
be
the playoffs
around,
this
but
year,
like
though.
they'll be the
But they
Cleveland Browns.
But they missed the playoffs with him this year. So, I mean, really, what is life with Antonio Brown? I'm not saying that he's not a difference maker. I'm just saying this season they had him, and they still missed the playoffs. So,
but that was partly surrounded by drama, though. That season was surrounded by drama the whole season. If you look at
what you think next season is going to be?
The same thing. It's going to be the same.
It's going to be worse. It's going to be worse, especially now that Art Rooney himself said all options are on the table, and it's hard to envision him on the team. Do you think Antonio Brown is really going to want to play for that? So if you thinking this season was bad, imagine what next season is going to be.
Yeah, somebody got to go, and that's why I said
it's going to be Antonio Brown.
Lifetime about to do a special on him. Hey,
he's the easiest to move.
Surviving Big Ben, they about to do a special on it, man. Well, if you're moving,
if you're the Pittsburgh Steelers, do you really want to go to Landry Jones?
No.
Oh, that's my point. So, would you rather go to Landry Jones, or would you rather go to Juju Smith-Schuster and James Washington and Vance McDonald and James Conner? That's still a decent team there. So, if you ask me, they're not finna uproot Big Ben and just kill their whole chances of still winning a very possible AFC North. You know, that division is really technically still
that division is open. Other than the Ravens. And I don't see,
Lamar Jackson. The Ravens are going to be trash next year.
Yeah, I don't see Lamar Jackson surviving.
Ravens are going to be trash next year. They'll be a 500 team at
that's best. My point. And that's my point. So you got the Ravens there with Lamar Jackson. You got the Cincinnati Bengals there with A.J. Green and Andy Dalton. They've never been able to get it together. They don't even have a head coach as of right now. They're still on their head coaching trail. And so, if you ask me, it's still the Steelers' division to lose. They still have Big Ben, and they would still have Mike Tomlin.
Check out this other side.
Go ahead.
Check this out. Since that quote unquote division is wide open, why don't you sever ties with a aging quarterback? You go into the draft, you get a hot young quarterback, maybe pick up a Teddy.
What would you get him at?
Get who at get the quarterback?
Yeah, the quarterback.
Well, they're getting a mid first round pick, so you can get that quarterback from Duke or a Jones guy. I think.
But would you really want to uproot your franchise for those guys? Guys that
Big Ben isn't that great though. Big Ben is not that great right now.
This is a perfect time to uproot
I'm not saying he's great.
Your organization.
I'm not saying he's great, but you're telling me Teddy Bridgewater will be a better quarterback than Big Ben. You're telling me Nick Foles. You're telling me Nick Foles will be a better quarterback than Big Ben right now.
Yes, 100%.
I don't agree with that.
Because
I don't agree with that.
Because
I don't.
Foles will bring that team together. The Foles magic is alive. They believe in Nick Foles. Ben Roethlisberger has been Nick there, Foles, done that, but he is old. He is obviously
he threw for 5,000 yards this year. He's really the only reason why they were even in playoff discussion to begin with. Because
who did he throw the ball
wasn't
to,
doing anything.
Who did he throw the ball to, though?
To Antonio and Juju.
Exactly.
And Vance McDonald.
So you have Nick Foles doing that same thing, plus a team.
Nick Foles is not on the level of a Big Ben. He's not, and outside of Philadelphia, Nick Foles has a losing record. He only has a winning record in Philadelphia. Every other team he's went to outside of that, he's had a losing record. So I don't know. I mean, I get it.
You also have to look at the teams sorry. Though, too.
I'm not saying he's sorry. Well, he was on the Rams, the same Rams team that they drafted.
That would be for Sean McVay.
It's still the same team. I'm just saying.
No, their coach like who's that
I get
coach?
it, Jeff Fisher.
Yeah,
I get
Jeff Fisher
is not a good coach, but neither is Chip Kelly.
Chip Kelly, I believe Chip Kelly had potential. He just is doing crazy stuff.
But I don't care about potential. I care about what is. And it showed. Since Chip Kelly has left Oregon, he's been mediocre. Even at UCLA right now. He started out this past season at UCLA, I believe 0-4 or 0-5. I'm just saying, Nick Foles outside of Philly has done nothing. Nothing worth talking about.
Okay, so
but
who would you get to replace Big Ben?
Nick Foles.
Or
why we?
or even Carson Wentz, because one of those guys.
They're not getting rid of Carson Wentz. They're not getting rid of the guy that they've only had for 2 years.
If Nick Foles win a Super
That's
Bowl,
not going to happen.
Carson Wentz got to go.
If Nick Foles wins a Super Bowl this year, Nick Foles will be on his way out the door just like he is now. There's no way that they're throwing that away for a guy that's already in his 30s, a guy that's been proven just to be a journeyman. He can play good in spots for a 24-year-old, 25-year-old quarterback. That's not going to happen.
He's been hurt the last season.
He's hurt. Exactly. Yeah. He's hurt. He's always going to be hurt.
Carson Wentz can play. Carson Wentz could play. He could play right now. But they have Nick Foles, so it's easy for them to shut him down because they have somebody behind him.
They are shutting him down because he has Nick Foles. Exactly, because Nick Foles is better than Carson Wentz.
Well, nobody's debating that. I didn't say Carson Wentz is better than Nick Foles, but I said from us sitting here saying, Nick Foles is better. Yeah, obvious. But looking at it from the organization standpoint, are you really going to get rid of your 25-year-old quarterback for a 30-something-year-old quarterback? No, you wouldn't. You wouldn't do that because you wouldn't have a job.
Only because he's always hurt.
You wouldn't have a job.
He's always hurt.
You wouldn't have a job if
you
are
keeping a 2-time Super Bowl winning quarterback versus a guy that's been hurt.
A guy that only plays 6 games a year or 4 games. That's not a guy that
just win, baby, win.
Come on.
Yeah, I don't.
Billy, you right now you talking reckless. I ain't never hear you talk like this.
Who's talking?
You talking reckless right now.
So you would get rid of Carson Wentz? You're telling me you would get rid of Carson Wentz and you would keep Nick Foles?
Yes, I'm telling you that. Only because if you
look you won't have a job.
Carson Wentz has the easiest job in the NFL. He sits on the bench while his backup plays for him.
Last year, he had the best record in the NFL. Now, y'all making me defend Carson Wentz, and I hate Carson Wentz. Last year, he had the best record in the NFL last year before he tore his ACL and was going to be the MVP of the league. What are you talking about? Last year, all Foles had to do was win at home.
What you tell me?
He had already had the first round bye. All he had to do was win at home against the Minnesota Vikings with Case Keenum as their quarterback. Now, I give him the Super Bowl win over Bill Belichick, but that defense was big time. They knocked Brandon Cooks out of the game in the first quarter. So, let's pump our brakes here. And this year, he only beat the Redskins to get into the playoffs in the behind Chicago Bears.
Let's be real here now. Being disrespectful. Let's be real. No, but let's be real. So, what you told me earlier, we're not going to talk about the potential. Carson Wentz has potential, yes. Has he shown me anything beyond potential?
I didn't tell you about potential.
No, you did. I didn't tell you about potential. You told me something about potential.
This guy was the MVP of the league last year. That's not potential. That was going to happen.
That's potential.
That was going to happen had he not got hurt.
It was potentially going to happen.
No, it wasn't potentially.
It was potentially going to happen.
That was Carson Wentz MVP to lose last year. When he went down, they had to find somebody else, and he still ended the season with more touchdown passes than a lot of guys, and he missed the final 3 or 4 weeks of the season.
But what did he do?
What did he do though? What did he do? Nothing.
He had his team right back in the discussion to go right back to the playoffs. That's what he did.
Discussion. They're not excited about Wentz. They're excited about Foles. Every Eagle fan is excited about Foles. They don't care about Wentz.
I'm just letting you know right now. You get rid of your team. You throw away your future, and you go with Nick Foles if you want to. I
will throw away a hurt quarterback any day of the week to keep a quarterback.
Hurt quarterback. What you mean a hurt quarterback?
Just because you said that, Billy. Just because you said that, I hope the Eagles win the Super Bowl.
Last year, he got hit on his leg and he tore his ACL. That's totally different.
So he got hurt.
That can happen. That can happen to anybody.
So, but he got hurt.
He got hurt.
Right? Okay.
Yes, he got hurt.
So what happened?
Was he going to be the MVP of the league last year? Was he going to be the MVP of the league last year before he got hurt?
We ain't gonna talk about what could have been.
No.
We ain't gonna talk about what could have been.
No.
Nope, we're not
was he
talking
going
about
to win? Was he going to win the MVP last year before he got hurt? Well, of course you can't win it if you're hurt.
Exactly.
I mean that makes no sense.
So what happened 6 weeks ago? He got hurt again, right?
he can still play right now.
But
with a broken back, I would rather have Teddy Bridgewater at the helm.
I don't get it. That's going to be it for today's show, guys. I appreciate you, Michael Buchheister, Just for Clicks podcast.
We appreciate you, Mike.
Hey, anytime, bro.
Thank you for doing this for us. Coming on every single Friday, giving your insight. I appreciate it.
Stir that pot.
Yes, you guys did. Continue to download the podcast. However you download it, Apple, iTunes, Google Play, Spotify, Spreaker. Leave us a rating. And if you don't give us a 5-star, I'm probably going to call you a hater. So I appreciate it, bro. You want to take us out of here?
Oh, yeah. As always, I'm your co-host, OG Raw. It's been a great day. Good show. You guys have a blessed day. We out of here.
Go Chiefs.
Down, Bear.
Here we go.